So to conclude, we have talked in this lecture about externalities as an important source of market failures. There are many behaviors of market participants, firms, as well as consumers, as well as governments that come with externalities. And what we've learned is that these externalities can lead to inefficiency. And they lead to inefficiency whenever the Coase theorem doesn't apply. So we've learned that if we actually can get parties to the negotiating table, if there are well-defined property rights and if they can actually negotiate, if that's easy, then they will actually find an efficient solution. That solution may not be the one that people may perceive as fair, but they find an efficient solution, a Pareto efficient solution. If that can't be done, which with most externalities is the case, something else has to happen if we want to reduce the inefficiency or eliminate it altogether. Now, one very commonly used instrument are Pigou taxes. So Pigou taxes are designed in such a way that they tax the market participant that causes the externality in the hope of reducing or eliminating that efficiency. So we've had the example of firms that have to pay a tax and that incentivizes them to produce less. We also have the opposite case of a subsidy that is given to consumers to consume something more that comes with a positive externality. There are also other instruments. One is regulation. The government can simply regulate the use of certain goods or the production of certain goods. And that is happening a lot. And if you take more advanced courses in industrial organization or also in law and economics, regulation is a huge part of that. There are new and very creative solutions to the problem of Pigou taxation. The problem with Pigou taxation is that it's very hard to distinguish between different types of market participants. Because ideally, each participant or each type of participant, whether they have high cost or high willingness to pay, low cost, low willingness to pay, needs a special or a specific tax rate. Okay, so I need to tax someone who has a high willingness to pay for a good that comes with a positive externality differently from a person who has a low willingness. That is problematic because getting that information on who is a high type and who is a low type is very, very difficult. And so that's why marketable licenses, such as the cap and trade system, with all the difficulties that come with it, actually reduces the administrative burden, reduces the cost of information acquisition. But we should also not be fooled that it still requires a lot of information, that governments still require a lot of information. So whereas with Pigou taxes, we need to know what the utility and cost functions of firms look like and consumers. With marketable licenses, we need to distribute the quotas, and we need to do this also based on similar information. So we don't actually have such a big information gain, but administratively, licenses that can be traded in a market are much simpler. Also, we don't need to determine the optimal price of that license because that is done in a marketplace. So I hope this lecture could convince you that government interventions can be very, very important, also very, very challenging, but are necessary because there is a lot of externalities that are attached to our behavior, that are attached to what we produce. They're attached to what we consume. And so we need to, if we want to improve the welfare of people, and not only of the people who are currently living here, but also of future generations, we need to take these externalities seriously and find solutions for these problems. And that's what a lot of economists these days are helping with. They haven't found the magic bullet yet, and who knows whether they ever will, but we can get closer to good solutions, as the cap and trade system has shown.